There's some very good reasons not to like Mel Gibson. But if you're going to review the movie, you got to put that aside. If you're going to review the show, you got to set your baggage down.
Now, we like to make fun of old John Campea for many things. Hypocrisy on the Snyder Cut, hypocrisy in general, and him being pretty much a liar and bully and a scam artist and putting out a very fake image of himself. Here we're going to see him defend Mel Gibson, I think for correct reasons, against a virtue-singling journalist who wanted to score some easy points with, I don't know, feminism or Me Too or some stupidity.
I'm not sitting here to disparage Angie Han by any stretch of the imagination. Very good critic, really like the reviews. But here's my problem with this. And it's not just the one here in the Hollywood Reporter. It's been other places. You guys have heard me talk about this before. As I started reading through the review, I expected to come across something saying, man, I don't know what happened, but Mel Gibson just phoned this one in. Like Mel Gibson looked like he wasn't even trying. He was a terrible performance, blah, 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 right? Because you put in the headline, Mel Gibson sours an otherwise serviceable spinoff. But as it turns out, no, it's just that Angie Han doesn't like Mel Gibson. And listen, there are very valid reasons to not like Mel Gibson. If you are somebody that doesn't like Mel Gibson, I get it. And I ain't going to argue with you because I get it. There are some very, very valid reasons out there to not like Mel Gibson. 100%, that's not in dispute. I think even big fans of Mel Gibson would admit, yeah, it's not in dispute that there are reasons to not like Mel Gibson if you don't like Mel Gibson. But that has nothing to do with the movie.
Series,
thank you. Yeah. Has nothing to do with the series at all. Look, I have some celebrities that I'm not a big fan of. You know, Chris Brown, for example. Call me old-fashioned. I don't think a man who punches a woman in the face to the point that she's got to be hospitalized is a real man. There, I said it. Chris Brown's not a real man. So I have no interest in watching any movie, series, whatever, that Chris Brown may or may not decide to appear in. But if I do watch it, then I'm going to evaluate the movie or series on its own merits. I'm there to review the movie or the series. I'm not there to review the person, Chris Brown. And what I would say, especially to an outlet like the Hollywood Reporter that is so good, what I would say to the Hollywood Reporter, and what I would even say to Angie Han, who I think is a terrific critic, is it is completely beneath you and you do a discredit to your profession if you're going to go into a movie or a series and review it and evaluate it on anything other than the merits of the movie or the series.
Well, I gotta give it to him because this is pretty rare. For those who don't know, and again, I usually don't pull this card, but we have to be careful, but his wife is Asian. So occasionally, Campea will do the right thing because he has an Asian wife and, quote, part of an Asian family. So usually he will be, quote, pro-Asian, but apparently this Asian reporter was just trying to, I don't know, attack Mel Gibson. So Campea doesn't usually stand up to the Asian woman. He tries to pretend he's very pro-feminist. He's not, but, you know, he pretends a lot. So good on him to push back on this female journalist and just say, listen, either you're going to review the Continental or don't review the Continental. Get right to it. But I love how he said, listen, guys, I love Asian women. I love the Hollywood Reporter. Oh, I think they messed up this time. You could have just criticized her. I mean, why all this apologies beforehand? It's better than nothing, and I do agree. I think Mel did okay with the Continental. It's not his best role. The Continental is just very flawed overall, so it's not that good a show, but I will give it another chance. Still, it's nice to see Campea is not going to toe the line on everything in Hollywood, so give him that rare W. I know he's going to have his L's coming soon, but let's briefly celebrate him being not completely stupid.
Like, no glowing reviews. Like, none of the reviews have been, this is the John Wick story, John Wick world story we've been waiting for. Like, right now, that. But